Yesterday, a wave of indescribable emotion swept through the guest team Cairn Farmer as they went from misfortune to glory in less than 7 hours. The kind of story that Netflix loves, but the king of the minions, Richard Carapaz, he's less keen. We don't say that because he hates his former team, but rather because he's still upset about what happened 2 stages ago when the whiny O'Connor blocked the road so that he and other riders couldn't attack, unintentionally causing the Ecuadorian to crash. For the former Olympic champion, he says the Australian whiner has disrespected him, saying that that's no way to defend a red jersey, and he's gone further by calling the casino rider arrogant for not having apologised to him 2 days later. Very harsh words, and well, we'll see if they're going to be translated into hard attacks on the road. Also in the news has been our much-adored son, grandson of dopers, Mathieu van der Poel. He's currently preparing for the European Cycling Championships at the Benelux Tour, a world category race where Poggy's friend Tim Wellens is the all-time leading winner. Yesterday, in the time trial, we saw a new young monster, 21 years old, fabricated in the Lotto team, Alex Segaerts. He won over more established time trialists like Magnus Sheffield or Stefan Bissegger. However, the world champion, close friend of Stefano Cecchini, almost fell in a corner and nearly had a very early finish to his season. We're glad that nothing happened to him, and we will be paying very close attention to his progress and evolutions in this race. To find out that, and well, much more, subscribe to the channel now and also follow us on our personal Twitter, @UncleCycling. And now, yes, let's get on with the summary of today's stage of the Vuelta España. The only Galician province from which Javier Guillen had not made any economic profit, well, he closes that box by today starting the stage in Lugo, a classic northern city whose medieval walls you should really visit sometime if you're interested in those kinds of constructions. A place from where the cyclists would leave on a route of 176 kilometres, with several mountain passes and an interesting finish with a double ascent to the port of Lumiras and the Puerto de Ancares, a mountain that separates Galicia from Leon and Asturias. There are so many variants on this mountain that on the 3 occasions that it's been climbed in the Vuelta España, it's been done by 3 different roads. The first time, in 2012, saw victory for the Andorran Rodriguez. Then he was the leader of the race, and he was asking for lifetime suspensions for anyone involved in doping, which would have given him the final victory against Piti Valverde and the final winner Alberto Contretrol. The second time, in 2014, another victory for the Spanish Troll. He insisted just weeks before that he had a very serious injury to his tibia that was going to prevent him from participating in the Vuelta. And, under the wise advice of the friend of the channel and Dane, because there's always a Dane, Bjarne Riis, he went on to duly crush the White Kenyan on the hardest, longest slope of this mountain pass. Now, 10 years later, it's going to be climbed by the shortest slope, the Leonese, 7.5 kilometres, that's all. But yes, with very hard ramps of 15% on several sections. The 2 previous times it was run, the race leader won. Would that happen today? Stay until the end of the video to find out. The day started very quietly. We could say extremely quietly. So much so that the peloton then let a breakaway of almost 20 riders form and get away. There were riders of all kinds there, from the classic Calippo Soler with 2 of his teammates, Poggy's hater Jay Vine and the one treated by Dr. Jerome Swart, Brandon McNuggets from the Soné Duval team. Oh, and there was the Belgian bot from Rabobank. There was Syncrosfera Campenaerts and his teammate Sylvain Moniquet from the Lotto team. Team Orica's Maro Schmidt was there trying to make up for the previous day's stage. There was the son of doped serviceman Nikola Vinokurov for Astana. The Jewish Israel Premier Tech Canadian, Michael Woods, he was there with a suspect teammate Dylan Turns. Making sure they weren't left out, there was Team Sunweb with a duo of Gijs Leemreizer and Sam Omen representing the Dutch. They immediately built a big lead, and not only that, but our beloved Belgian bot Van Aert spent a lot of time at the front of the race on all the mountain passes, overtaking Adam Yates as leader of the King of the Mountains, and so he was heading to be the leader of 2 secondary classifications. we can only say a giant thank you to the Belgian for all that effort dignifying this horrible race in which all the Galician stages have been practically given away to breakaways without any action in the general classification. This group soon reached an advantage of over 17 minutes with respect to a peloton where they were practically talking and laughing during the first 100 kilometers. But in the Lumeras Pass, near the Ancares Pass, we then saw how Van Aert left the Australian video game cyclist and Calippo Soler absolutely stranded, scoring big mountain points in a real exhibition. We were now seeing how a simple Rabobanker was able to beat 3 Saunier Duval by simply taking out his Belgian sausage from his green bib shorts. This advantage increased further when the Vine-McNuggets duo crashed on the descent of the pass, fortunately without serious consequences. Now, could the rest of the breakaway break away on the pass of Ancares? We quickly saw the answer. No. The Belgian bot comes here to get easy victories and jerseys that don't cost him too much effort. And so it was that the super specialist on the steep garage ramps, the Canadian of the Jewish team, Michael Woods, who at the tender age of 37, he was there. He launched an attack right at the start of the 12% ramps, one which only Mauro Schmidt, like yesterday, tried to respond, albeit rather timidly and without any success. After a long effort, the Canadian athlete, the only old man that Sylvan Adams has signed and who's given him performance in return, he won the stage, ahead of a Swiss champion who's not finding the big prizes in this Vuelta, despite having prepared thoroughly for these stages. Behind, Tramadolito Quintana was leading the peloton, but it was his Red Bull compatriot, Daddy Martinez, who quickly lifted the pace of the bunch, leaving the whining O'Connor completely unattached, while the now classic duo of Slovenian skier and attacker Enric Mas went on ahead, little by little putting out of play the king of the minions and the dinosaur Mikel Landa, while the crybaby who deleted his Twitter after a good old sob, which we heard above the silence of the idiots who said that this cheating whiner was going to win the Vuelta España, well, he was distanced. With 2.5 kilometers to go, in the classic range and without really attacking, just sitting comfortably, the rider with the best record in the race, Primoz Roglic, was gradually leaving Enric Mas behind, taking more and more advantage of a crybaby who now didn't even have the support of his teammate, Felix Gall. Roglic came in 10 minutes and 45 seconds behind the winner, making it clear that he was going to be the best of the favourites today. Then came the odd Spanish duo of the up-and-coming Rodriguez and Crescendo, and the dinosaur Landa, and the attacking Enric Mas out of his depth. He came in with Anti-Pogacar Lipovic and the king of the minions just shortly afterwards. The whining O'Connor, he lost 1 minute and 54 seconds to the Slovenian skier, and although he still leads the race, his advantage is now rather meagre, just 1 minute and 21 seconds over Roglic and 3 minutes over Mas. This is increasingly looking like a revival of the 2021 Vuelta. In just 5 kilometers, it has become clear who is the best rider in this race. Subscribe to the channel if you like this, and also check out the video on the screen. You'll love that!